Assalamu alaikum guys, what's up and welcome back to some F1 2019 career mode. We're here at Monaco, 85% difficulty. I did a practice run in 80% in a 25% race and we were able to win, but I really need to focus. So this race is going to be a post-com. This bit's live and the outro will be live as well, but everything else in the middle should be post-commentary. With that said and done, we are on the standard setup, not touching anything. Like, really, I should be up here. This is the kind of setup that we need. Wait, hang on. No, we need this. That's what we want. But, as I said, we're going to leave everything standard and let's head out to track. So, heading out for our first, well, I say our first, but our hot lap at Monaco, we completely missed our braking point and run very wide into Saint-Devote as we make our way up the hill now into, I believe it's Casino Square. We're kind of keeping it as we run a little bit wide through Mirabeau, and now we make our way down the hill, almost clipping the Armco, but we're able to take it fairly nicely. Now slow it right down for the lows half, and we get right over the curb. Probably shouldn't do that. Drop it back down into first for the right kink. We lose a back end, but we keep it going in a straight line. And now into the hill. We're in P18 at the minute, so it's been an absolutely awful first 1.5 sectors. But into sector 2, we get a pretty good run through the Novel chicane, and we're back up into 7th, into to back, dropping it down into 5th, running over the curb on the entry into the swimming pool, and on the exit of the swimming pool, we are up into 5th. Now slow it right down for Raskas, down into first gear, back on the power, and just be careful through Anthony Knowles. We have to make a bit of correction and open up the steering. But as we get back on the power, we're in 6th place, and we do indeed finish 6th. Now, as you can see, the rain is out. I did do one run of this race before, and just to get used to the track, and I apologize in advance, there were a few flashbacks, but it's wet at Monaco. What do you want me to do, right? Off the start, we're very, very timid on the throttle, and we already lose a couple of places. We run into the back of Perez, but crucially, we don't lose anything off our front wing. And we've now dropped down into 7th place as we make our way up the hill. Can't see anything at all as we enter Casino Square. Have a bit of a moment with a back end. Just tap the inside Armco, and now down the hill towards Mirabeau. And we can see Perez. That's the guy we want to be. I don't really think we're going to be able to catch up to Vettel or the Red Bulls. But first gear so slow through the lows hairpin, and I'm not going to lie, every single lap here felt horrible. Usually, you know, you enjoy your laps, you're having fun, but honestly, in the wet here at Monaco, it was just so slow, so boring. And, I mean, Monaco in the dry is pretty dull anyway, so in the wet it's just even worse. But down the hill into the Novel chicane, we cut the corner a little bit. We try to get a run. We look at Perez, but we just lose a back end, and that will cost us being able to challenge Perez for 6th place. Bit of a moment out of it to back as we enter the swimming pool section. I mean, the track's a bit of a swimming pool at the minute. And on the exit of a swimming pool, we're dropping a back from Perez, but crucially, we are still in the runnings. We're just trying to get used to the conditions. As you know, I always seem to struggle on the opening few laps and then start to get my groove, which makes it really difficult in these 5-lap races. The longer the races go, the better it is for me to be able to just find some more pace and pull away from the AI. But we have a massive moment with the back end on the exit of Saint-Devote. We keep it going somehow, and we lose a back end, we tap the wall, and we do use a flashback. And returning though, we end up trying to save that spin, and this time the Haas really has a look at us into Casinos. We have a moment, the Haas finds a position, but we play very aggressive and we end up running him a little bit wide as I'm just desperate to get as many points as we can, because we had been doing so well in the championship, and then Monaco in the way. Do more words ever need to have been spoken? We can see all the guys ahead starting to pull away, but I'm just focused on trying to navigate through the horrible, horrible walls on a very, very slippery track. But halfway through lap 2 of 5, we keep on pushing. We try to keep a straight face, if you can say, as through the Noble chicane. It's so tight, so difficult in the dry, and in the wet, you're just tiptoeing through. Honestly, this is probably one of the hardest races you can do. Monaco in the wet, maybe Singapore in the wet is slightly more difficult, but I don't know, any street circuit in the wet, Baku included, is just an absolute nightmare. As into Anthony Knowles for the second time. As we can see, there's a bit of a gap from Hulkenberg to the next car on the mini-map, so that is a bit good, but as you can see, we run wide, we clip our front wing, and we lose part of it. It's now yellow, but we decide to be good boys, and we don't use a rewind. How good is that? And I just don't like, I try not to use rewinds, because when I do that, I lose my rhythm, I start driving worse, etc, etc, and I was already fed up. As I said, I had done a practice race here beforehand in the career mode, so I did like 4 laps and then I restarted it, and it was just flashback after flashback after flashback. So I just wanted to keep on going and just get this race over and done with. There were so many times I just wanted to quit, say, okay, I'll take no points, let's just move to the next track, but I did my very best to stick with it. As we enter the Noble chicane for the 3rd time of the night, or 4th time if you include qualifying as well. ERS is at 90% as we tap the wall on the exit of Tibak, but we keep our front wing intact. On the exit swimming pool again, just being so timid. Every time we try to put down a bit of power, we just lose the back end through Raskas. Short shifting up through the gears, or we should do on the exit here. Yeah, there you go, short shift up into 5th, and now we can really start to put some revs into the car when there is a lot less chance of getting wheel spin, and every time on the brakes into Sandevot, you just feel that you're going to lose the back end.
Here's who we're really fighting today, Vettel and Bottas.
I did that for a joke. I just wanted to see, you know, if Jeff was, you know, sane, or whether he was smoking some of that crack again. And he was smoking crack because he thinks that we're still racing against Bottas and Vettel, who are 1st and 3rd. Does not even realize that, you know, there's a Red Bull in between them that would probably be fighting over one of the other two. But penultimate lap of the race, and we can see the AI are all starting to close back in on us. We do have that front wing damage, and you don't want front wing damage at Monaco. At a low downforce track, something like maybe like Monza or Spa, you can maybe get away with a little bit of front wing damage like this, but not here at Monaco. It's a nightmare.
Perez is ahead of you. They're on fresh wets.
And
their tyres are 3 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 30.6.
Thanks for that, Jeff.
That looked bad. Are you all right? Let me know you're
So
all right.
we had a bit of a shunt again. Can't even do 5 laps without making a mistake. So quick flashback back to the entry of Tibak. We clip the wall anyway, but with 1 lap remaining now, it's just try to get it to the end. I'm just trying not to crash, not to die. 29.4 being set by Bottas, and we're, you know, nowhere even near getting into the 30s really. I can't quite see what the time is. I think that's a 35.7. The screen that I'm looking at is pretty bad quality, but we set a 32.4. So I think that fast time is a 31 or 30.7. But this is our final lap, so I decide, you know, I want to give it a little bit, give it a bit of just see what kind of lap time we can get here in the torrential conditions at Monaco, just so I can, you know, compare myself to the leaders and say, well, you know, if I had some practice, maybe I would have been able to compete for some extra points. But as things stand, not looking very good. We find 1 to 2 tenths in the first sector as we make our way down into I can't even remember what this corner is called. I used to know all of the corners at Monaco. but not anymore. Into the tunnel, though, and now we just have to prepare for the Noble chicane. Also, you have to be careful through the tunnel. Sometimes it's not even flat through there, especially if you are at high revs. Very easy to spin up the back, but through the Noble chicane, onto the power, we lose it back in temporarily. We can also see the Alfa Romeo closing in onto Hulkenberg, so maybe Hulkenberg has some issues, but, well, I guess his issue is that he's stuck behind us. We dropped 0.3 in the second sector, and we can't even find more time. Running about 2 seconds a lap slower than the leaders is just, it was pretty embarrassing. It was pretty gutting for me as well, but we tiptoe across the line to pick up a 7th place, and yeah, it's just an absolutely horrendous race, but we've got it out of the way, and from here on out there aren't going to be any nasty street circuits that catches out. Singapore's an okay track, and as we see on the as I skip through everything, we do indeed pick up 7th place, pardon me. We qualified 6th, but we take 7th. So, I mean, that's that. However, that's pretty much all that we have time for. We take a quick look at the standings. We're still leading by 13 points, but the next race is Canada, and it's a track that most drivers like, so it should be good. And until then, guys, stay milky, and assalamu alaikum.